Welcome back to Mashed Potato Castles, where I show you how to throw together quick, easy, budget-friendly meals, even when you have little to no plan. And I do need to admit one thing. It's quite easy to do that, to throw together just meals based on what you have or what's available at your local discount grocery store when you are working from a place like this. Your home kitchen, which may or may not look like this, but it is your home kitchen. It has all of your items in it. It's much more difficult to do this when you're, for example, cooking in someone else's house, specifically someone else's very small mountain cabin, very far away from any grocery stores. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because before we go there, we need to start here with a bit of that thing that I truly dislike, and that is planning. Here's what's going to happen. It's a couple of days before I'm leaving on my trip, and I need to plan for what I'm going to be cooking because I can't just pull anything out of my pantry in a cabin in the mountains. I don't have a pantry there. So we're gonna start here in my pantry. We're going to make a list. I know, a list, it's scary. Go to the store, gather the items, and I'll show you what it looks like to a little bit prepare to cook from a place that is not home. And we're gonna start doing that by having you join me in a place that's rather scary for me to share with you, and that is my pantry. Let's see what we have that already exists, that's already paid for, that I can begin building meals around for this vacation meal plan. All right, this is what I came up with from my pantry for things I can use to start and inspire meals for my upcoming mountains getaway. Doesn't feel like a getaway when you start like this, but okay. Let's talk through how I thought about this. So first we have, I don't know, I'm gonna call this the tomato-based area. I had some chili starter, which clearly on there says just add meat and beans, and I had beans. So we're gonna have chili. I'm also bringing an emergency tomato paste in case that helps that be less awful. I have this other canned tomatoes with diced pepper, celery, and onion, plus another tomato paste there. I'm not sure, I might do some sort of curry with that, or I might use it to replace this, which is just some spaghetti sauce. Not sure which one of those I'm taking yet. We'll figure that out later. We're gonna move on to the that was too much tomatoes creamy stuff area. That sounds gross. But I have some evaporated milk, some coconut milk, and some cream of soups. I also then thought about carbohydrates. So those are great bases of meals. I've got some gnocchi, 2 boxes of mac and cheese, and some grits, and like way too much rice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of those grits and some of that rice and put it in a smaller container. I have some jars over there that's gonna go in to take with me. And then finally, some lentils, not quite sure what to do with that. And I have this little bit of, it's a soup mix to make potato cheddar bacon soup. And I think all I would need is some potatoes. Maybe I'll use frozen, I'm not quite sure yet. What I'm gonna do with that, we're gonna think it through. And then I thought about flavor. So flavor is the thing that is always lacking when you are traveling because you don't think to bring it. So I just look for any unopened flavor items I have. I have some green taco sauce, some hot sauce. I've got some yum yum everything sauce, and I'm bringing some ranch packets and a single container or single packet of onion soup mix. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna write all this down and I'm gonna come up with a plan and a shopping list. I know this is unlike me, but it's kind of important when you're planning for an away trip. The list making portion of this whole plan, I already shared on Facebook as a short video, and I shared how I used AI to put this plan together. I'll share that link here, but for now, let's take a look at my minimal grocery shop and the plan. Yes, that's right, I said I have a plan. It is much later in the day and the light is poor, but here's what I got at Grocery Outlet to make meals for 2 people for 10 days. All right, we have butter, tortillas. These are just some emergency sort of granola bars. I have stuffing mix, I'll talk about that later, and green beans. That's the thing I really like to make. It's really easy. I did get some cheese and eggs. I think all that together is gonna be breakfast. We'll talk about that in a minute. I then went a little bit crazy on snacks. This is what snacks look like to me, cheese and meats. Your snacks will probably look different. A bag of potatoes that you can steam in the bag in the microwave, some cooked chicken sausage, and then protein. This is 2 pounds of ground beef and a little bit more than a pound of chicken tenderloins. I wanted chicken thighs. They were really expensive, and I would like to state that while this is Wagyu, I don't know. I know this is expensive, but it was the cheapest thing they had at grocery outlet. All of this together was $45. That feels like a lot of money to me, but again, this is probably 6 meals with protein, because that will make 2 meals for 2 people. So 6 meals for 2 people plus breakfast. And I'm going to hopefully get some leftovers out of this for lunches as well. Let's take a look at the whole plan, and then we'll fast forward in time and get to the mountains. All right. This little girl wants to be part of the final meal planning video. So let's take a look at what we have for our to go to the mountains meal plan. First, I'm going to be definitely making what I call Thanksgiving casserole. It's really like a slow cooker thing. Side note, I'm taking my slow cooker. I'll show you that when I get to the mountains. But it's going to be chicken, cream of chicken soup, green beans, and this stuffing mix. That is going to be way too much food. I will probably have half of this chicken left over. I'll figure that out when I get there. I also have planned a sausage and potato skillet, super easy. Again, I'm on vacation, so I'm not trying to make this complicated. I am making chili, as I said, and then I'm going to combine it with mac and cheese for chili mac later in the week. I decided to go with simple spaghetti with just tomatoes, the spaghetti sauce packet, and the other ground beef there. I will probably have additional ground beef left over from one of these 2 things. Then this gnocchi is going to become, this is that potato soup base that I had with a bit of, this is bouillon. It's not vanilla sugar, it's bouillon in that container. And that is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different dinners. I also have the ability to make quesadillas if I do not use all this cheese and all these tortillas for breakfast with these eggs, which I will not do. I am taking along some sauces to make that more fun. And I will make a rice and coconut sort of porridgey thing for breakfast because I'm weird, or I'll just make coconut rice and serve it with some of the leftover chicken. Not really sure, but that's going with me. I have granola bars and I have some snack foods. These are the last random items over here that I did not find a home for. I have some flour just in case, some cream of mushroom soup, not sure why, ranch dressing, soup mix, and this yum yum sauce that'll probably go on whatever I make with the rice and the coconut. I think this is more than enough for the amount of time and the amount of people that are going away. And I spent, again, $45 plus some pantry items. Let's quick talk about why I'm doing this. And then again, let's go to the mountains. First, I forgot to mention there was spaghetti in that grocery haul. I put it over there, unless it didn't make the video, but anyway, it exists. Secondly, you might be thinking, golly, there's not many vegetables in there. And you're right, that's because cooler space is limited. I will hopefully be picking up vegetables where we are going. There are farm stands, I've been there and I know this. If not, I don't know, there's tomatoes and there's green beans and I'll have a salad when I get home. Finally, you might be thinking, gosh, Tracy, that's a lot of work to do to go on vacation. And I will say you are right. However, 2 things are true. 1, I'm going somewhere kind of remote. So taking my own food is actually probably a smart thing, budget or otherwise. But second, the last trip I went on, which was also 10 days, cost me over $1,000 to feed 2 people. 2 people for 10 days, over $1,000. I just spent $45. That is less than $1,000. That's why I'm doing this. To be fair, I will be going out for a couple of meals, probably 1 or 2 throughout the 10 days, but this will be the majority of what we eat during our vacation, which makes a vacation possible, at least for me. All right, ready? We're gonna now go forward in time and we'll be in the mountains in 3, 2, 1. Here we are. And I would like to say that I am on vacation, so I will be showing you what I made, not how I made it. Let's take a look at what some pantry items and $45 looks like for about a week in this cabin. I'm gonna admit that I'm eating in restaurants as well. Let's take a look. One of the first meals I made was just spaghetti with meat sauce, and you can see here that I was too lazy to even boil water, so I ended up cooking that spaghetti right in the sauce. It turned out a little bit Chef Boyardee-esque, but who doesn't love Chef Boyardee, especially when you're on vacation? It was perfectly good, really easy, and really cheap. I'm not going to show you what breakfast looked like every day because it was pretty much this: an egg and cheese tortilla with some pickled onions, coffee, and a mountain view. Here we are, what I thought was going to be the best meal of the trip, my Thanksgiving casserole, which is just chicken that I cooked in my slow cooker, multi-cooker that I brought with me. There's the chicken cooking. And then I threw the beans, the cream of soup, and the stuffing mix on top of it. It did not turn out great, but sometimes we try things and fail. Also, that was fine. Here's why. Whatever. It's raining. It sounds beautiful. I had some leftover ground beef from the pasta sauce, so I made what I'm calling hillbilly smash burgers. Hillbilly because the only thing I had to smash them was this mason jar, so that's what we're doing. I'm also using a flat top griddle I found in the cabin, and I would like to say that this turned out pretty great. I added some of my own pickles that I brought with me. And again, I'm going to keep showing you this. Here's why we're doing it. There were other days when I just did not feel like cooking at all, so this is what I'm calling lazy girl breakfast: hard-boiled eggs, apples, and some cheese. The unexpected star of this whole meal plan was this chili starter that I got at Grocery Outlet. Man, was it good, and boy, did it make making chili easy. That's a good sound. I was feeling super motivated this day, so I made some rice to go with the chili, topped it with some cheese and onions, and it was delicious. 10 out of 10, recommend that chili starter if you can find it anywhere. And again, mountain views. This is our last night here, and I would like to first share that I did buy some vegetables. This is just some kale from Walmart. I'm making do with what's left, which is this gnocchi, the soup mix. There's that chicken sausage, and I've also started packing all of the pantry items that need to go to the next place because this isn't the only place we're staying. Right there. I have everything in the fridge that needs to go. Ignore that alcohol. Is there. That's breakfast, and I've frozen leftovers and some meat for the next place we're headed. This gnocchi soup was actually really good. I recommend using prepared gnocchi in soups. I will do it in the future even when I'm at home, but I will say I'm glad I added that kale because it did cut some of the salt from the sausage and the soup mix. Well, I'm still outside, but I'm back home. And after all of that planning, shopping, and cooking, you might be wondering, was it worth it, Tracy? Was it worth doing all that prep just to be able to eat while on vacation? And I'll say, yes, it absolutely was. It was worth it to be able to go on vacation. Here's why.